create flowing art that makes your heart sing. I run a base, and I actually think about what my colors are going to be, and then I want to layer my colors on how I want it to look. I have 15 of these tables, so I custom do them for individuals, depending on what it is they want.
I do a mixed media pieces, mainly wood on watercolor, but I also do ink and all sorts of different cool things. I do a lot of specimens and oddities. I love horror, I love comic book art, I love anything you'd find in a museum. And I feel like my work kind of bridges the gap between people who love the aesthetic of the weird, creepy museum and people who don't particularly want to have their own specimens at home. So I like to create pieces for everybody.
I have here my zodiac collection. I love astrology, so I've studied astrology for the past few years. I write a little bit of poetry about each zodiac sign and then laser engrave it, do all the finishing and sanding work along with it. I do a little bit of welcome signs, a little bit of soldered jewelry over here. I hand solder, solder each piece one by one, copper foil, use metal to wrap it around the crystal. I also do little inspirational sayings on magnets with the laser engraving. I do all the design work digitally, just different things that I find cute and creative. I like to keep it kind of lighthearted and fun. It brings out the kid in everybody that comes and sees it, and everybody can smile and find something that they like, which I really enjoy, seeing people smile when they look at my art. I also love doing sun catchers because it kind of combines the element of making jewelry along with the woodworking. So I enjoy making sun catchers as well.
I have ceramics, very organic shapes. I have a little bit of mushrooms, jellyfish. I incorporate air plants and connect these in with magnets so you can still water them. Mushrooms, sea creatures, earrings. All of the dishes are pressed with either homegrown in my garden or in my house with like native species, milkweeds and ginkgos and different things that I have around. These are more like organic sea sculptures. I love plants and I love nature, so I kind of try to incorporate textures and forms from nature, but they're not necessarily literal, but meant to kind of look like sea sculptures.
I have jewelry. I'm a self-taught metalsmith. Started in 2016. I love gems and silver and gold and textures and just putting them all together. Okay, this is my current favorite. It's Ethiopian opal on a sterling silver band wrapped in 14 karat gold and with some gold embellishments. And I just had a shop update, a butterfly collection with a black opal. Love her.
We do a little bit of everything. My whole family kind of pitches in. We like to make spooky stuff, and it started out as just a hobby, and then everybody wanted to pitch in and be a part of it, so it kind of became a whole company.
All right, so what do you got? Give us some examples.
So my mom actually makes these. These are our skeleton fairies. And then we do some more household stuff like cups and mugs. People like those a lot. So I make my own Ouija boards, like spirit boards. I use a laser engraver and burn them and paint them myself. And then we found out with Scrabble, like leftover Scrabble tiles, we started making some signs. And then I do stuff with some real animals too. This is a mink skull. This is a fox skull, and these are real bugs that we find.
I have some resin products. I have ashtrays, statues, coasters. I have hand-painted boxes. I have handcrafted mugs, keychains. I also have makeup bags / pouches. These are printed artwork I've drawn and painted, and then I have hand-painted pouches. And I also have gym shoes that's hand-painted. I draw the design on them first, and then I paint them in. I have just the music design, and then I also have Rick and Morty.
So Rebel Nell is a woman a female-owned company. We take products and refurbish them into jewelry. Most of our product is made from fallen Detroit graffiti. So we take these paint chips that we get from the ground, and then we create all of the pieces that you see here. We have jewelry, we have wine stoppers, we have keychains, golf divots, and many more other things.
We are an oddities company. We thrift and source antique vintage frames and materials, and we put it together with ethically sourced insects. This frame was thrifted, and I built the box right behind it.
Which
and
one?
then this one right here. I thrifted this, and then those came from flea markets. The frame's on the inside. It's got vintage wallpaper and a Luna moth in it. And then I drew the design that's behind it and had it machine cut.
Well, it's a conglomeration of a couple of different series over the last few years. The black and whites are ink drawings. They're actually, they start out as a Zen seeing meditation in my garden with a ballpoint pen and a piece of paper. And then then I take them. I don't look at the paper, and they develop the way they develop, and then I take them into my studio and start inking in the shapes. These here, these Walker type figures were done at the hospital. My wife has had cancer for the last 10 years, so for 2 years, twice a week while she was getting chemo, I was in East Wing of Beaumont drawing people walking by the hallway.
I mean, honestly, just the community vibe, and one of my own really good best friends is here as a vendor, so we always come to support her every year, and we just love handmade community, small artists. Yeah, it's definitely something that we focus on within our own lives and buying gifts for people, stuff like that.
Definitely enjoying great weather to be out and just walking around, and there's a lot of really different stuff this year. We've come the last 3 years, and so
I like particularly the arts, especially anything three-dimensional arts and crafts. It's really nice, and especially what I like about it here is representation of startups. Okay. That uniqueness I appreciate, and the creativity and the diversity in the types of art pieces that are being presented.